What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. We appreciate you for being with us here. Tigers lose a tough one in blowout fashion, man. 31-17. Really wasn't even that close. Amazing play by Damone Clark at the goal line. Prevented Ole Miss from piling one more on. Really, before I go any further, I started Whiskey and Wine this way last night. For those that saw it or missed it, I'll start it again here the same way, which is huge shout out to Damone Clark for all the negative that we and many others can say about the game and the team and all that stuff, and much of it's justified. Damone Clark yesterday had 20 tackles. 20 tackles yesterday in that football game. 2.5 tackles for loss and a sack. And for all the everything going on, that dude has continued to play so hard. So far, through 7 games, Damone Clark has 99 tackles, which leads college football. He leads college football in tackles. Jackson Mitchell of UConn is second with 90. I mean, Damone Clark has been an absolute freight train, and we're watching something special with him right now. And I get it, there's not much to celebrate this season, but that dude has been awesome and deserves all of our respect and praise for what he's done. Because he's on pace to be a first-team All-American and quite possibly the second Butkus Award winner behind Devin White. Like, he legit has, and I get it, a lot of times awards like that are going to go to, the best player at that position on the best team type of deal. And LSU's not the best team, but I'm going to tell you, LSU's got a legit shot to have Cade York win the Groza and Damone Clark win the Butkus, and he deserves it right now. So that's something certainly to watch over the next month of the season. Jason Aguilar, good morning. Tim Casalot, good morning. Reagan Lee, good morning. Kyle DeVille, what's up, Matt? Feel like I've been through the worst crap show ever. Mark Chairs, Tigers lose. Tigers lose, but life is still good. Lose has 1-0. Vino Frazier, good morning. Bert Moore, good morning. Carl Ritter, Scott Lumine. Did you and that loser at the bar have drinks after the show? Jesus. So if you're watching Whiskey and Wine, there was a guy behind us who just kept interjecting the whole time. Like he was behind, like making gestures, and kept talking to us. And as many times I tried to say, chill out, he didn't get it. So I had to take my headset off and pop off at him. And then he stopped after that. But I went up to him after. I was like, man, listen, I'm sorry to pop off, but bro, we're doing a show. There's 2,000 people watching concurrently and 10,000 or more that are going to watch later. Thousands of more that are going to watch later. I can't hear you. You're distracting. The audience can't hear you. You just needed to chill. And he did after that. So he apologized, but it's all good. Roland Guitro, Bart St. Germain. The same thing, if y'all remember Whiskey and Wine against UCLA, the same thing happened. I was doing the show in the Rose Bowl, and some guy kept following me around yelling. It's I try to shoo him away, and I finally had to say, bro, shut the bleep up. I'm doing a show. Shut up. And I mean, when I don't want to snap, but bro, sometimes you when you're you just got to sometimes. Anyway, Bart St. Germain. Hopefully the Saints can win my birthday. Bart, if today's your birthday, you're not going to get your wish because the Saints don't play today. They play tomorrow on Monday Night Football. But happy birthday to you, Bart. Hope it's an awesome day, man. Don't be waiting on the Saints today. They play tomorrow. But happy birthday, Bart. Tim Edwards forgot how much I despise losing to Ole Miss. James Tyrone, Will Cottery, Dan Cluot, what's up? Patrick Dorsey, Jason Aguilar. Always sucks the morning after losing. Yep. Taylor Termini, Matt, your winless streak of picking games against LSU is over. Good job, buddy. I know. I have a feeling I'm going to nail the next one, too. Charlie Gale, good morning. Just got some game coin. There you go, Charlie. All right. Shelby Kelly, how about them Bravos? First time in the World Series since I was 7. Don't actually remember them playing it. Wow. Yeah, 1999, lost to the Yankees. I remember that one well. and 96. I remember 95. I remember 91 when they lost to the Twins. Gustavo Ortiz, Jason Crockett. Let's see. Jack Davis. Matt, last night you said, got info from a Bama staffer, they would be scared if Napier Tucker came to LSU. Could that just be another smokescreen because they're really more fearful of Lane going to LSU? I know Saban blocked him a few years to be the OC. No, I don't think so. And I said it was from an SEC staff member. Hang on one second. Drew's awake. I think Eric is still sleeping. We're getting him out of his bed. He just wanted to get in bed with mommy. Wanted to cuddle in the bed with mommy. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Do us a favor, if you're on YouTube, smash that like button. Smash the like button. Facebook, like the page at post. Let's see. Cade Galt, Luke O'Brien, Trampus Butler. Grove is overrated. First time there, not impressed. The only thing is, like, there's a lot of people and tents and stuff all in one confined area, so it looks kind of cool. But the vibe I would give you is not that great. Bob Poole, good morning. Mark Anthony Seymour, daughter's team won 5A state championship in Mississippi. There you go, man. Congrats. Great accomplishment. Does Lane Kiffin move up the list of candidates for our next coach? Carl, I would say this. That's probably an evolving conversation. T-Bob and I talked about it on Whiskey and Wine. Like, you've got 5 more weeks, with 6 with the championship weekend. And, like, I'd put it to you this way. James Franklin seemed a lot more attractive 2 weeks ago, right? Then you lose to Iowa and you lose to Illinois, and all of a sudden people are probably cooling on him a bit. I don't think that should be the case, but and I'm not going to tell you one game result is going to be the determining factor if someone gets hired or fired, or hired or not hired. But, all right. Jump over here to YouTube, say some good mornings. Tim Gotro. I'm on board with the coaching suggestions from last night. Weekly guest coaches through the end of the season. Pat Huseman, Brown Bear 765. Post-game show is out of control. No, the Kentucky post-game show is out of control. Last night was mild compared to Kentucky. Joey Vincent, Bobby Locknow. Can we fire Ed again? Jeffrey Bone, good morning. Cliff Nell, what's up, Cliff Nels and Lemon Cookies? Good morning, Cliff. Big Boy Hard Knocks. Dude is a tackle. Oh, Damone Clark, yeah. Trivia Carter, good morning. Adam Fontenot, morning. Let's see. Not sure what was better, you popping off on Bilbo or Haney exploding on Condon. I didn't hear Haney explode on Condon, but I guess I have to go back and listen to it now. Tad Page, good morning. Matt Lusto, good morning. Bradley R. It was that Bilbo T. Baggins thinks he's the smartest mother effer in the world. Dude, again, nothing personal against anyone, whatever. It was just we were doing a live show, and he needed to shut the hell up. Like, I appreciate you coming, but you're not part of the show. Like, stay over there where everybody else is just watching and listening. Kelly Gross, good morning. Bruce Shales. Hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse, but have you heard Riley's name brought up by people at LSU? Yes, but I can't say it's from someone that I would consider a top tier source. It's more just, Scott's going to aim big and he'll call Lincoln. He'll call Jimbo. Like he'll call all the Brian Kelly. He'll call all the usual suspects. Kenneth Yu, that was Ole Miss's national championship. I disagree, Kenneth. Ole Miss has one loss on the season. They're ranked 12th. They'll be higher today. And they have a very real chance at running the table. I don't think they will because I think they have deficiencies, obvious deficiencies. But, remember, their permanent cross-divisional is Vanderbilt from the East. And their rotating cross-divisional this year is Tennessee, which they won last week. So, and they've already played Bama. So they go to Auburn this week. And then they play Hugh Freeze and Liberty, former Ole Miss coach Hugh Freeze and Liberty. Then they get A&M at home. They play Vanderbilt, and they wrap up with the Egg Bowl. And that's in Starkville. But they're probably going to be favored in every game the rest of the way. A&M will be interesting, but they'll be favored every game the rest of the way. I tell y'all, I'm a college football elitist, and I believe in the hierarchy, and I don't need, Mississippi State getting uppity and going to an Orange Bowl and Ole Miss being ranked in the top 10 and competing for it. But, Ole Miss is a team that has at least the opportunity to finish 11-1. And with their only loss potentially being to Bama, if that's how it plays out, they're going to have a case for the playoff. They're going to have a case. Matt Luce, I'm not saying they're going to get there because I don't think 3 SEC teams get in, but I think there's a good chance Bama and Georgia both get in. If in this, this will be interesting. If Georgia goes undefeated and loses to Bama in the SEC championship game, I think they both get in. One loss, Georgia, who's only lost in the SEC championship game, I think they both get in. If Georgia goes undefeated, beats Bama in the SEC championship game, hands Bama a second loss, I think Bama's out, Georgia's in. What would be interesting is, does one-loss Ole Miss get in over two-loss Bama, which beat Ole Miss? That would be an interesting debate. Dick Jones, what's up? LSU should just go woke the school has? What does that even mean? Adrian Bailey, good morning. Without T-Bob, we can finally hear you finish your comments. He's annoying. He is annoying. Completely annoying. Eric Wilder-Rotter, I respect the hell out of Clark for leaving it all on the field. That said, Stephon Anthony led a miserable Saints defensive tackles in 2015. Any chance that's what's happening here? No, because look at the play that Damone Clark made at the goal line. When Snoop Conner looked like he was going into the end zone, and Damone Clark took the right angle and popped him and forced the fumble and the turnover. You're down 3 scores at that point, and he's still busting his behind to make that play. He has been gap sound, and we knew he could run sideline to sideline. He's just been awesome, man. He's been all over the field this year, and that dude deserves everybody's respect, man. He's been awesome. Damon Hinderberger, 0-2 against Sissy Blue this year. I know. Rapid Batches, what's up? Donovan Thibodeau, what's the buyout on Lincoln Riley? I don't know. You realize you're stumping for the coach that damn near lost to Kansas yesterday. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I'm just saying you could have this conversation for everybody. Let's see. Ooh. Riley has a $25.2 million buyout. Next. Robbie White, what's up? $237 million can buy you an NL wild card these days. That's good. Rappin' Batches, Star Hill Stunners, what's up? Chef, glad you brought up Damone Clark. He deserves a ton of credit for giving his all, while some have mailed it in, for sure. Lance Richard, trying YouTube since my Facebook comments never get read anymore. Lance, I bounce back and forth. The thing is with YouTube, the comments stay populated, so I can always like scroll back and then come down with them. On Facebook, they scroll so quickly, and once they scroll through my feed, I can't go back and see them anymore. So like I'm looking at Brant Roban's comment from 7 minutes ago. Scott Woodward has his dude confirmed already, whatever, and like that one just pumped, and so now I can't see that one anymore. So that's probably why, if you're commenting in a certain frame where they go too quickly. So my apologies for that. If I miss your comment, it's not intentional. John Boudreau, good morning, Matt and Drew. Why would Kiffin leave and come to LSU? Because he can win a national championship at LSU. He will never win a national championship at Ole Miss. It's that simple. And LSU has better resources, facilities, history, tradition, money, all of it. It's a better job. Patrick Dorsey, Matt, two-part question. Does Tomlin have a buyout, and is there a penalty if an NFL coach leaves for another job? I do not know if Mike Tomlin has a buyout. My assumption would be no, because it's just unprecedented. You don't see NFL coaches leave NFL head coaching jobs. If the Tomlin thing is real, when would he finally be available? Great question. It would be after the season, so you have to wait till January. And that's the big question mark on it. But I tell you this, if you would know for certain who your committed prospects are, because they would sign in December regardless. And then you could also be transparent with recruits as to why you are waiting, and everyone would know at that point. Warren Beasley, I like Mike Tomlin better than Mel Tucker. You should. Everyone should. Jason Crockett, the Wake OC. Wake Forest put up 70 yesterday on Army. God, I had Army too. I knew Army would run all over Wake, and they did. They ran for 400 yards and put up 56 points and still didn't cover. Let's see. Derek Maness, good morning. Kevin McGee, O&D coordinators are high school level, no imagination or gap tech. Not good. They're not game day callers yet. That's takes experience, man. Ole Miss had 12 penalties for 106. That stat usually goes against you. Most penalized team in the country. Brandon Atchison, I never heard Haney scream at the top of his lungs. It was kind of awesome. What did he do? Maybe I have to go back and listen. Huh. Kyle DeVille, Henry Burrell. Have you heard the timeline for hire? I mean, Henry, my assumption is LSU plays Texas A&M on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. My guess is you'd have a coach announced Sunday or Monday. Danny Braywick, Cade Galt, Ben Webb. Was Baskerville as bad as I believe against Ole Miss? Baskerville was hurt. He left the game. Baskerville was hurt. He went down. They brought in, you actually saw Philip Webb play yesterday at linebacker. And you know what? I wrote it down. You saw, no, I'm sorry, not Webb. I'm sorry. Greg Penn, sorry. You saw Greg Penn on the same drive in the third quarter. It was LSU's first defensive possession of the second half. They put in Greg Penn, Jarrell Cherry, and Sony Fanua, however you say it. Like, they were trying different personnel, and it just didn't work. But Baskerville was hurt. Tried to come back in, and was just very clearly not right. And then he went out and didn't return. Jason Crockett, Chad Brown, Matt, did you watch Pelicans game? Nope. Tammy Morrow, what's up? Kyle Acock, good morning. Did yesterday's loss change your outlook on LSU winning another SEC game? No, Kyle, I think they could win another one. I mean, I think they could snag Arkansas at home. Blaine Smith, Ward is a coverage safety. You should not be in the box so much. You can't tackle. I'll disagree with that, Blaine. Jay Ward was also hurt yesterday. Like, both Baskerville and Jay Ward played hurt. And Ward left the game, too. I mean, they even made a point on the broadcast, the CBS broadcast, pointing out that Ward left the game hurt. So, like, guys like that, I give him credit, man. I give him credit for giving it a go. Injured in a season that's completely lost, but, you know. Richie Burt, LSU stopped all the trap runs that worked against Florida. No, so they weren't running traps, they were running counters. And they still tried counterplays with pulling linemen. But this is exactly what we talked about this week is, I think I talked about it with T-Bob on Scone and T, which is it worked against Florida. Well, you put something on film that works, so you have to expect that Ole Miss is going to have a plan to stop it. When they react, what's your counterpunch? Like, that's the game in the NFL always. Everyone always is going, it's who can make the most adjustments, because everybody's brilliant. So when someone does something different, how do you adjust and counterpunch within the game? LSU has no ability to do that whatsoever. They go in with a plan. That's why they play well at the start of games. They go in with a good plan. But other teams adjust, and LSU doesn't. They're not well coached. Renee Marks, good morning. Chewy Gutierrez, Kiffin is my top choice. I have a feeling he would get us more trouble with his lack of maturity. I think he's matured off the field. I do, from everything I've heard. Jason Crockett, hey Dad, good morning. Richie Burt, Catholic Hilo, Good Friday. Kind of felt bad for Santa Mo when you remember what those games were in the 90s. True. Lon Hamilton, I mean, that was my favorite game. I mean, Santa Mo was, when I played, was always our big rival. Played some great games against Santa Mo. Lon Hamilton, who would you like to see as O&D coaches? I would trust, well, let me see who the head coach is first, because that would dictate it. If you are a defensive-minded head coach, then you have to bring in an OC that you can hand the reins of the offense to, and vice versa. Brent Roban, you mumble through mine and move on. You didn't even get to the second part of what I was asking. Sorry, Brent. It's not that. It's like they go very fast is my point. So, like, I think the last one that you asked, I was reading it and it popped through. I didn't get to see the rest of it. That's the problem with Facebook. Craig Duga, Jason Crockett, Brian and Annie Pinton, good morning from Knoxville. Should they put in us earlier? No, Brian, I saw your comment yesterday. We did address it on Whiskey and Wine. No, I mean, look, they put Nussmeier in, and he got the fourth quarter. He led the first drive for a field goal, and they did get a touchdown drive later. But look, man, I know Max held on to the ball too long twice, got popped, was sacked, fumbled twice. No, I mean, Nussmeier was okay. Let's see, he finished. Nussmeier finished 7 of 12 for 103 and a touchdown. Not bad. I mean, he takes some deep shots. He's a little cavalier with the ball. Over a larger sample, I think that bites you. But, he didn't play bad. There's nothing was going to save that team yesterday, man. Let's see. Stephen Bond. Good morning, Matt. Everyone go Tigers. Tommy Howard. Bama loses again, and Ole Miss runs the table. They'll have a legit shot at the playoff. Yep. You're fun set. It'll be an interesting conversation. Semper Fi Crawfish Co. Letting us start if we're going to lose. Let's at least lose slinging the ball around. And hire Napier. I want consistency. This up and down crap is annoying. I know Napier wants the job. I don't think he's going to get it, though. Tim Gotro. Give props to Clark for recognizing Ole Miss was going fast, trying to stop guys from celebrating and get ready for the next play. True. Cajun Fried Legator. Okay. Matt, can you give us a preview of how good you think LSU basketball will be this year, both men and women? So I picked the men's team to go to the Final Four. And that was not a bit. I legitimately believe I called my shot because I think this is the most talented team Wade has had. They have everything. They have size and length and scoring and defense, and they have an inside-out scoring. I think they have everything. Depth. I think they have everything you need to be a great team that can make a run in March. I am very, very, very concerned with the loss of Adam Miller because he was the guy they brought in to be Cam Thomas, to be their scorer. He was going to be their leading scorer this year. And I think that's really tough, losing him. So I don't know what that means for this team. I need to see him. Star Hill Stunners, is the Prince coming back on air in the mornings? Nope. Robert LeBlanc, good morning. Putting the dude in his place last night, LOL, would have been annoyed too. I was trying not to snap, bro, but at some point, like, if what you're doing isn't working, you have to try a different tactic. Astros minus 145. Who you got? I got Stros. Thaddeus, what's going on? Morning, Matt. Do you think Scott Woodward made a good decision keeping Coach O for the rest of the season? Yeah, Thaddeus, look, here's the reason. Number one, I've talked about this. Like, Ed Ogeron is not your X and O guy, right? We all know that. He hired poor X and O guys, which is why the team plays as poorly as they do. If you remove Ed Ogeron, you're promoting one of the poor X and O guys to be the head coach. I don't think that makes a difference. It'll make a lick of difference. So if Ogeron's there or not, because you don't have an obvious interim guy to step in, you're not any better. Making the decision and announcing it when you did is smart because while yesterday sucked, at least a lot of the vitriol and the conversation is down because Ed Ogeron's lame duck. He's not coming back. We don't have to have the fire the coach conversation today because the coach has already been fired. Austin Kidder, what's up? Another game where we look like the better team with the better athletes in the first quarter until coaching experience takes over. Yeah, there's no doubt. Ben Mangum. No disrespect to Clark, but Ball was already out when he hit Connor. No. Preston Selassie. Does not having to play against Kiffin every year make him a top candidate? I don't know what that means. Dwayne Boudreaux, the conditioning coach for LSU, must suck. I disagree with that. Guys getting hurt is different than being out of shape. I don't think LSU's out of shape. They're pretty banged up. Why do you want Franklin if last year was bad and this year isn't an improvement? They finished amazingly last year. They started terribly. I think they lost their first 5 and then they won out and then started the season great. I think James Franklin's a great coach. I think he would do phenomenal here. Do you still want Tomlin? Yeah, I do. Sam Cosby, Wake only had the ball for 17 minutes in that game. Yeah, they were hitting big plays left and right. Randall Alfreck, Dexter Corner. Why do they run the same defense every game? They make it easy for the O-line to block. I mean, what do you mean? Do you want them to go to like a 3-3 stack? Do you want them to run a defense that they don't have the personnel for? I mean, you run the defense that you have personnel for. I mean, you try to give different looks, and they do, and you try to rotate personnel, and they do, but you're also missing your 2 starting defensive ends and your 2 starting outside cornerbacks. Like, y'all. I mean, the highest paid defensive players in the NFL are defensive ends and cornerbacks. Your 2 starters at both of those spots are out. You're not as good. Like, you're just not as good. Was I the only one who laughed when they said it was the 4th biggest crowd for an Ole Miss game, 64K? Small stadium, bro. Yeah, thank you, Cliff. Smashed like 217, 218 watching on YouTube, only 69 likes. Can we please get that up? Smash that like button. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the Matt Scone YouTube channel. All of that helps with algorithm stuff, and we appreciate it so much. So if you would just take a quick second, hit that like button, which is the thumbs up. If you're watching on mobile, you'll see the live chat. Just hit the X out of live chat. You'll see the thumbs up button. Smash that. Then just tap live chat again. The comments come right back. So thank you so much for everybody who's watching. And on Facebook, if you would like the page, share the post. We appreciate Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Brock, Rock and Wine. 1 week from yesterday, 6 days away at the Renaissance Hotel. If you're looking for something to do Saturday night on your open date. Food and drinks from the best restaurants in town. Live music, live and silent auction. All benefiting the Brock Foundation. And, of course, we are also brought to you by, you know what's coming.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hardcoat.
Call Hardcoat Roofing. 364-1007.
Had to. Just jam a little in the morning. Let's see. Kyle DeVille, do the two choices become Tucker and Kiffin? So, y'all, I'll tell you this. What's up, Kenny Carr? Good morning. Don Jolibois, Adam Michaels, Brian Andy Pinton. Went to sleep before you answer my question. Jason Crockett, what's up? Richie Burt, Alan Vansell. People forget it's Max's first season. That's true, man. Like, that's why I don't have a gigantic set of expectations for him as a sophomore, first-time starting quarterback. But anyway. It's funny, Max is okay, but you'll never win with him. And all the rage all offseason was for Max to beat out Miles Brennan. Like, based on a 2-game sample size at the end of a COVID season. Anyway, sometimes why you don't make rash judgments after a game or two. But anyway, I still think Max could be fine. So mentioned this yesterday because of the question about the top 2 candidates. I mentioned this on not on AFR, excuse me, on Whiskey and Wine last night. I'll say it again, but I was told last week, late last week, from someone in, well, I won't even tell you who. I want to be very, very careful. But I was told that Scott Woodward floated out a contract number to see what kind of inbound interest he would get. And the number was really big. And it's not to say that you do that and the biggest name that replies gets the job, but I think that's a really smart tactic to determine what kind of interest you're going to get in your job, right? Now, and I was very clear to say this on Whiskey and Wine, and so I'm going to be very clear to say it here as well. It was a gigantic number, and my guess is, okay, I'm telling you now that I'm editorializing. This was not told to me. I am guessing now, okay? I'm guessing. Circumstantially, knowing that information, which I believe to be true, that Scott floated a really big number to see what kind of interest he would get. My guess is that's where the Tomlin stuff came from. That Tomlin's representatives heard that number and reached out and said, what about our guy? Would you be interested in talking to our guy? Again, I do not know that to be fact. I'm not reporting this. I'm giving you an opinion that this is where the conversation came from, because Doug Whaley, who was the Bills GM and spent time in Pittsburgh and has connections in the agency world, Doug Whaley would not go on 93.7 The Fan or 93, on whatever it is, The Fan in New York, and just throw that against the wall about Mike Tomlin and LSU or USC. Wouldn't do it. That has to be that idea. The genesis had to come from somewhere. The idea had to come from somewhere. So, like, where did that come from? Did it come from Tomlin's agent? Did it come from Tomlin himself? Did it come? Is Tomlin trying to vie for more money in Pittsburgh, a longer deal? Is he looking for an out because Ben Roethlisberger's likely done? He doesn't want to start over with a new quarterback. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe he's just tired of the NFL, tired of Pittsburgh. I don't know. I don't know I don't know Mike Tomlin at all. But my guess is that's where that started from. Is that Woodward floated a gigantic number to see what kind of inbound interest he would get from agents saying, "What about my candidate?" And my guess is that's where the Tomlin conversation started. Again, but I want to be so abundantly clear. That is a guess. I am guessing about that based on circumstantial evidence that I believe to be true. I'm connecting dots, thinking that's where that conversation came from. DC Vlogs, at least UL Monroe is still on the schedule. Will Woodward make another stupid contract for the next coach? He made possibly the 2 worst contracts of college coaches, Jimbo 7.5 and Coach O 9. I disagree on Jimbo. You had to pay him to get him away, and Jimbo is no longer even like. And I said it at the time. People looked at that and like 10 years, $75 million. Yeah, but the $7.5 million per wasn't going to be a big deal because by the time you get to the end of 10 years, there's going to be 24 coaches making $7.5 million a year. So it's not that big a deal. They've already since extended, the new AD has since extended him and given him more money. A&M's got it. It doesn't matter. If you're happy with your coach, keep him in place. The bigger deal, as I say all the time, is not the contract, it's the buyout. It's if you made a bad decision and you want to get rid of this coach, how much does it cost you? Look at LSU's current predicament with Ogeron having to pay him $17 million to go away and the rest of his staff $10 million. You're going to spend $26 million to pay these people to not coach. That's the danger. The Jimbo thing is actually a great deal because there's no buyout. Yeah, he could leave without having to pay a buyout, but you could fire him without having to pay a buyout. So that's actually a great contract for both sides. And the Ogeron thing, you have to extend a coach after winning a national championship. You have to. So do what you had to do. Mark Allen, I'm guessing we didn't have our best week of practice. Touche. Brooke Bordeaux, good morning. Let's see. You should do a video on a day at work at Guarantee Media where you first walk in, see Lady Jag, go from there, like behind the scenes of AFR. Like have someone follow me all day and like edit it together. I mean, if somebody who is a talented video producer that wants to follow me around all day and video my day and edit it together, you're welcome to do that. Jacob Hibbert is our defense, not that talented or poorly coached. Well, I think it's both. And a giant root of the issue is you're missing 6 starters. And beyond that, you're down 6 starters and poorly coached, which is a recipe for a not great result. Tommy Howard, Michael Porter, if they're really that adamant about playing the guys who are hurt, our backups must be terrible. Wikipedia has James Franklin, the head coach of USC. No kidding. Daniel Glenn, Scott Woodward has had his guy on deck since he landed in BR. His guys getting paid for breaking down his future opponents on Fox Sports' dime. Scott is brilliant. Peterson shows up in Baton Rouge, November 28th. Maybe, Daniel, I'm not sure I buy that, though. Hey, bud. Chris Peterson has been, I think, pretty adamant that he's okay not coaching. I'd love it if it happens, and I wouldn't rule it out. And maybe that's Woody's ace in the hole. Maybe. Tom Grannig, let's see. King Mo, Nuss should start the rest of the season. Back of the end zone was impressive. I'm okay playing him more. I just don't think it's going to matter. Does Woody have a verbal agreement with this guy already? I would say no. Southeastern might be the best football team in the state. Yeah, no. Jeffrey Bone, Condon went on an epic rant after a caller compared this season to having a loved one in hospice. Condon asked Handy, would he be excited if LSU hired Napier? Handy didn't answer him. That was the rant? Connor O'Neill, someone tell me what part of the postgame. Oh, yeah. It's reached a point where as soon as we get to 4th down, I get up to grab a beer because I'm certain we'll call it timeout. That's pretty good. Let's see. Zach ATV, what's up? Douglas Hurstel, Nuss has some juice. He's going to have a 4-interception game at some point. I believe that to be true, and I also believe the other point, which is that, look, y'all, Ole Miss in the game had 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 3 pass defense, and 6 quarterback hurries. LSU's offensive line isn't any good. I don't care what quarterback you put back there. It's just not going to go well. Handy rant starts at the 34-minute mark. Okay, good to know. Hey, babe. Let's see. Tafanka De Silva, good morning. I thought we would win. Go Tigers. Let's see. Chief, rarely discussed. Strength and conditioning, a huge problem. Too many injuries. See, here's the thing, man. By the way, Chief, that's not rarely discussed. A lot of people bring that up. And like when Glenn Logan breaks his foot, how is that strength and conditioning? When Elias Ricks goes to make a tackle and he tears his labrum in his shoulder, which he's torn twice before, how is that strength and conditioning? You know what I mean? Like when Keishon Butte fractures his ankle on a sideline catch, how is that strength and conditioning? Like, it's football. It's a physical game. Guys get hurt playing football. Look at the New Orleans Saints. I mean, look at the injuries the Saints have right now. Is the Saints' strength and conditioning terrible? I mean, I think the bigger thing is you're learning you just don't have good depth. Injuries happen in football, you don't have good depth. I don't know how you just pin that on strength and conditioning. Like soft tissue stuff, if guys are pulling hamstrings and groins all the time, that's a little different. Anyway. Matt, why do you think Ole Miss cannot win a national championship, haven't they won 2 or 3 before? You're talking about 60 years ago, Dick. That's the problem. Like, college football is a different game 60 years ago than it is today. Ole Miss can't win a national championship. They don't have the facilities. They don't have the means to recruit the type of athlete or get the right coach for long enough. It took Hugh Freeze recruiting that Kemdichi, Treadwell, Tunsil class, which, by the way, got Ole Miss in trouble with the NCAA. It took that just to get them in contention for a double-digit win season to go to a Sugar Bowl. Like, to win a national championship, you have to put together 4 classes like that to build up a roster to be able to compete against Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State, and Clemson. And they're not capable of doing that. They don't have the resources, the facilities, the cachet, the money, the commit. They just don't. Like, they won't win a national championship. Paul Batts, what's up? Paul Batts, Scone, I know you don't like to project. That said, can you paint the meeting scene between Scott and Dr. Tate regarding the LSU coaching search? No? Let's see. Drama. Deadeye, what's up? Let's see. Smash the like button like I did to some Pluckers wings last night. Not a bad night. Ivan Salazar, what's up? Let's see. I don't know where you get the will and spirit to do any commentary on our Tigers after such a shameful outing against Ole Miss. Our Tigers are done and buried for the season. They are, Ivan. But there are better days ahead, and we know that to be fact because LSU is going to hire a new coach, and hopefully it's someone who will stabilize the program. Brad David, what's up? If you ran into Derek P., would you be cordial to him? Sure, absolutely. I mean, personally, Derek and I have no problem whatsoever. None. Derek and I have, I don't think he and I personally have ever had a crossword. Professionally, Derek's burned a lot of bridges, and I don't know what he does next. I mean, I've been told some things. Maybe he wants to be a sports agent, stuff like that, and maybe it works out for him. I don't know, but yeah, I'm fine. I saw Derek at Hanny's last show. I just don't ever talk to Derek about the football team or program, ever. I think he knows professionally where I stand and have stood on Ogeron. He is fiercely loyal to Ed, and so we don't really have a professional relationship at all. But that's okay. But personally, there's nothing there. There's nothing wrong there. Robert LeBlanc, Matt Corral was the difference in that game. If Corral was on LSU, he may have had a shot. I could buy that. Mostly too because you would be taking the best player on the field off of Ole Miss's team. Donovan Thibodeau, LSU for life. Franklin is an offensive guy and can't move the ball at all. Lance Richard, not the jingle again. I hate that jingle. Well, I hate you. I love that jingle. I hate you. Tom Granig, what's up? Let's see, Matt. When Mississippi State and Ole Miss play at home, it's the same time. It's over 110,000 people in North Mississippi. You make too big a deal about the crowd. What are you talking about? Big deal about the crowd? I didn't say anything about the crowd. Matt, when Mississippi State and Ole Miss plays at home at the same time, it's 110,000 people in North Mississippi. I don't know what you mean. Because someone mentioned the 64,000 at Vaught Hemingway. Look, bro, if Ole Miss could seat 100,000 in a stadium, they'd expand their stadium. They can't, which is why it's a 64,000 seat stadium. They just don't have the fan base. It's a nice program, dude. It's a nice program. I guess Dick is a Ole Miss guy. It's a nice program. They've got some good history from 50 years ago. But they're never going to win a national championship, ever. They're not capable. They don't have. I mean, they do not have the resources to win the national championship in college football. They don't. So they won't. But they can be a nice program, and they can occasionally pop up and win 10 games. But I'm telling you, if Lane Kiffin had the opportunity to leave Ole Miss for LSU, he would crawl to Baton Rouge. Like, he and his representation are openly lobbying for that job. He wants the job. I don't know if he's going to get it, but he wants it. 261 watching on YouTube, 123 with the likes. Smash that like button. Thanks so much. 183 hanging out on Facebook. Appreciate y'all for hanging out this morning, as always, on Morning Scone, presented by Brock Hudco. Kate Galt, Curtis Clark. Does he give Saban a call? I don't think so. Kevin Forshag, good morning. Shane Laird, I believe this is a golden opportunity for LSU to become a dominant program relatively soon. Saban won't be around forever. With the crop of talent, the ability for LSU to almost become a football monopoly in the state. If they get this right, the sky's the limit. I agree, Shane. Saban proved it. When Saban built LSU into what they were with dominant defense and NFL athletes all over the field, he showed the way. And Les carried that torch for a decade, and Ed was the beneficiary of that very solid program with a strong roster and good hires made by Les Miles, and he lucked into the most transcendent player in the history of the program and won a national championship, and it was magnificent. Ooh, a caller yelled F you to Condon. Haney tried to calm the situation. It turned into Condon not listening to Haney about the roster, and Haney loses it on Condon screaming at him. Interesting. Let's see. AJ Holland, good defense needs to have this crazy thing where you put your arms around people who have the ball and bring them to the ground. All right, we've reached that part of the show. Will Laverne, why is everyone focusing on Tucker's resume but saying Napier or Aranda would be good? Resume is important as in everything. I love Aranda. He's a Tiger. Also like what Mel appears to bring. I think here, look, someone asked earlier, I made the point about James Franklin having lost 2 games in a row now, and he doesn't seem as appealing because of those results. I would say let's see what Mel Tucker's team does over the last 5 weeks, because that'll tell you a lot. They have 3 really big Big Ten games, and if he goes 3-0 or 2-1 in them, I think his star probably shines a little brighter, right? If they go 0-3, there's going to be a lot of, I can't win the big one. So, we'll see. John Morris, Ole Miss will win the national championship this year. Oh, Jesus. Have we really reached that part of the show? Let's see. Craig, by the way, opening to Whiskey and Wine was perfect from T-Bob. When he yeah. It was a very long, carried out, drawn out expletive, I think. Would you like to see LSU start playing Tulane again instead of Tech or McNeese? Kyle, I don't really care. I don't think that LSU needs an annual game with Tulane. I actually prefer to play all the in-state schools to spread the wealth. that's a revenue generator for the other in-state schools. And if you're going to play it, I'd rather you spread it around. Like they'll play Southern next year. Like we said, they played McNeese this year. They played Northwestern State in 2019. I'm Nichols. I'm good spreading around. The problem with Tulane was Tulane wanted that home and home series, but LSU just can't justify giving up a gate on a home game every other year. You just why you can't. That's why they got out of the contract. Ross Meir, good morning, Matt. His game going to be listed on Bitmarch soon. Oh, is Gamecoin going to be on Bitmarch soon? Yes. I would even say, Ross, without putting a definitive date, that you could be inside of a week of that happening. Mm-hmm. Craig Duga, does Musa need to watch for Derek P taking his job? I don't think so. Ben Giat, Jason Crockett, LSU's too small in the back end. Cornerbacks playing safety is not good. That's what happens sometimes when you miss in recruiting, right? But you also got Sage Ryan playing nickel because Cordell Flott's playing outside because Stingley and Ricks are both hurt. Alan, don't think it matters. Not sure Georgia can be beaten this year. I agree. I think Georgia's the best team in the country, and it would be an upset if anyone does trip them up. I do wonder though, at quarterback, if they get into that dogfight, forgive the pun. Is Stetson Bennett the guy that can win a big game? Is JT Daniels healthy? I think those are legitimate questions. Kevin Vanek, let's see. Matt, don't you think Dave Aranda knew this was coming? Could have stuck around one more year, had the job offered to him? No, I don't think so. And I don't think LSU is going to hire a first-time head coach. Dave Aranda wasn't going to get promoted from, like, there was always that conversation, like, is Aranda coaching waiting? The answer just fundamentally is no. That was never a reality. It was never going to be a reality. So no. Mario Rossetti, Scotty Nero, if Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, do they both get into the playoff? I think so, yes. Does Bama make the playoff with a loss to Georgia? Yes, I believe so. Let's see, where are we? Sorry, I'm trying to find my spot on YouTube again. Troy Plummer. Paul Batts, I'm laughing at. I can taste the cream in my mouth. That was the that was the description on the cigar. Let's see. Curious to see how the offense would look with Brennan. You know, Troy. Here, you know what's the odd thing, Troy? The primary reason that we all sort of bought Max Johnson in this offense was his differentiator was his ability to run, right? His athleticism, that he could make something happen with his feet. And he doesn't run the ball, ever. They never call running plays for Max Johnson, design runs or otherwise. They do move the pocket, like they roll him out to try to protect him because the offensive line is a sieve. But it's so strange because I would have said, listen, Max's competitive advantage is he can move, but they don't move him. So I'm like, maybe like Brennan behind this line would be a sitting duck, but maybe it wouldn't be that different, Let's see. First time an LSU team in 22 years reminded me of the dreadful early 90s teams. Yeah, history was bad. I don't know, 99 was bad too, Paul. 98, 99 were bad with DiNardo. Hopefully there's enough left in the Brinks truck after the head coach hire to hire quality assistants. There will be. Robert LeBlanc, do you think LSU can finish in the top 5 in recruiting after this year? This season, Robert, might be tough because anytime there's a coaching change, you're gonna lose prospects. Like the Aaron Anderson, the 4-star out of Carr, decommitted. But as Shea Dixon said, he was already kind of like, he had already said he was 50-50 on LSU. So, I mean, every year there's a coaching change, like you're going to lose recruits. It's just the nature of what happens with that. So top 5 this year, maybe not. But man, if you can get if you can keep Will Campbell and Walker Howard, all the in-state guys, you're still committed. You still have a great class for sure. How was Jimbo's contract the worst when he's already been given a raise? That's the point, right? I mean, it wasn't. George Reitmeyer, Leroy Harry, John Sager, Gordy Rush is talented. Is that you, Gordy? Let's see. Paul Batt, similar to Barstool Scenes, it's good content. I don't know Barstool Scenes. I have to look. I don't tell you all this often. A lot of people, I don't think, believe me. Like, I just don't consume a lot of content. I don't consume other sports content. I do this. I do Morning Scone. I do Locked on LSU. We do Scone and Tea. I do AFR. I do Nightcap. Like, I produce content a lot. I don't consume a lot of other people's stuff. So, it's not because I don't think it's good. I just don't have interest in listening to other people's shows or watching, right? It's not that they're not great at what they do or it's valid. It's just not going to affect what I do. Ultimate Warrior, no YouTube notification this morning. Sorry about that, man. We're always here, though, so you know where to find us. Let's see. My list is Lincoln Riley, Luke Fickle, not Fickle, but yeah. That's probably just a typo. Mario Cristobal, James Franklin, Lane Kiffin. I don't understand the Mario Cristobal thing. Mario Cristobal, you're essentially hiring Ed Ogeron again. A guy without a specialty who's been a line coach, who's a noted recruiter, energy guy. Like, it's the same thing. He was miserable at FIU, and he's been okay at Oregon. I don't understand Mario Cristobal at all. I mean, he's the guy. He is the guy you currently have. Michael Morales, what's that about Jimbo having no buyout? I thought he had $95 million. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. There is no buyout on Jimbo Fisher's contract. Jimbo, when Scott Woodward did the initial 10-year, $75 million deal, there was no buyout on that contract. That's the thing that a lot of people misunderstand. Jimbo can leave for any job, and they could fire him at any time and not owe him anything. There is no buyout in the contract. That's the deal Scott Woodward and Jimmy Sexton worked out when they first did that deal. So that's the point I make all the time, is I don't care how much you pay a coach. It doesn't matter. If the coach is performing, do you think anybody in Tuscaloosa complains about how much they pay Nick Saban? No, because he's great. I mean, until this year, I could say the same thing about Dabo or whatever they're paying Ryan Day, whatever. Like, nobody cares what you're paying a coach until you're trying to get out of the contract. So it's all about the buyout, not the dollar amount. It's the buyout. So that's why the Jimbo deal wasn't no big deal. A&M's got more money than God. They can pay Jimbo Fisher $7.5. They can pay him $9.3. They can pay him $93 million a year if they want to. And if he's competing for championships, beating Alabama, they'll gladly do it. But if he's not, fire him. Owe him nothing. Okay. And Jimbo was willing to take that deal. The ending of Whiskey and Wine was funny. That cat wanted to be part of the show so bad, you need security. Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier. Yeah. Try to be nice, bro. And he was not getting the message. So I had to pop off. I talked to him after. I was like, look, man, I didn't mean to pop off at you, but, like, we're doing a show. I can't hear you. The audience can't hear you, and it's distracting. I tried to be nice, and you didn't get the message. He got it, though. And he backed off. So what, Bama by 28-35. Bama will name their score, bro. Be the same as last year. Going forward on 4th and goal changed the whole game for us. So T-Bob and I talked about that on post-game. You know, you had a chance to go up 10-0. I would have kicked the field goal. I know it's a hindsight 2020. In the moment, I was saying kick it to go up 2 scores. And the other primary reason is because you were getting the ball to start the second half. So you had an opportunity to have a 2-score lead and have back-to-back possessions, in theory, at the end of the first half and to start the second half. So you would have been playing with a 2-possession lead. So I get it. You want touchdowns, not field goals. But in that moment, I wish they would have kicked, considering they already had a 7-0 lead. It's a bummer. I don't know in the end, though, that it really would have mattered. Let's see. Where are we? Steven, morning from Auburn. With the college aspect of the game, deter Tomlin from going back to... I don't know. I want to say that again 1,000,000 times over. I don't know Mike Tomlin. I don't know what his interests are. I don't know. He coached in college before he went to the pros. He's only 49 years old. He's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh. I think he would be a absolute stud, ace, 100% slam dunk. I would love it if it happened. I have no idea if he actually has interest. What I do know is LSU, Scott Woodward floated out in the agent world a gigantic contract number to see what kind of inbound interest he got. Almost like a lure in the water to see what kind of fish would actually come nibble. And my guess is that's where the Tomlin interest came from. That Tomlin's representatives got wind of that and said, what about our guy? And maybe it's just a play to get his name out there, to drum up more interest or more money from Pittsburgh or whatever. I don't know. I do not know any of that. But my guess is that's where all that chatter comes from. Chris Terrell, the team came out fired up. They shut it down fast. Now, Chris, the thing is, like, this is the issue with coaching. LSU goes into the game with a plan, and they've got good athletes, and they usually execute the plan well early. But what happens is the other team adjusts to the plan, and they counterpunch, and LSU has no answer for the counterpunch because they're poorly coached. LSU's coaches don't know how to make in-game adjustments. That's what's transpiring there. And then you're also shorthanded, so you wear down in the second half, and it all plays out, man. It's just what they are. Oh, Jimmy Rain is the Elwood guy. That's right. John Sager, T-Bob is so annoying. Get a new partner for Whiskey and Wine. Robert LeBlanc, T-Bob is awesome, though. Listen to that guy. Ultimate Warrior, T-Bob is cool. He's just immature. Very nice dude. Polarizing. Matt, do you think we could pay our new coach in game coin? Probably not. Jared Guillory, Barry Johnson, not happening. Niki likes T-Bob. Would Eric Bieniemy be a good fit for the next coach? Maybe Derek. I keep scratching my head why Eric Bieniemy's not an NFL head coach already. And it certainly seems, he interviews for jobs every year. It certainly seems like eventually he'll get one. Does Matt Campbell get a look? No. Matt Campbell just signed an extension at Iowa State this offseason. He's got a massive buyout as well. Christian Cameron, Chris Peterson. Someone mentioned Chris Peterson earlier. My understanding within that community, the coaching community, is that Chris Peterson is very content to not be coaching anymore. Maybe he gets the itch and you can get him back in, but I certainly wouldn't want someone to come in half-stepping because, look, Baton Rouge and LSU is not Boise. It's not Seattle, Washington. It is a completely different monster. And if you come in, it ain't for the faint of heart, man. If you come in not being pot committed, this is a brutal place, man. So I understand the allure of Peterson, but I'd also want a guy that was completely committed to winning a national championship here. The new head coach will have 5 offensive linemen transferring. He could. See, Jared, any chance Hugh Freeze gets a look? Not likely, Jared, just because of the off-the-field stuff. And LSU having Title IX issues. Max Johnson's undefeated against Florida. Mike, I heard Doug Peterson. I've heard some people, like fans, ask about Doug Peterson. I just haven't heard that name from anyone associated with the search or LSU or anything. Reaper 08, could a coach be named during the bye week? No. Marcus DeCluet, would the DB coach keep his job? Corey Raymond, I would hope that any coach would retain Corey Raymond. I mean, he's the godfather of DBU. You'd be stupid not to retain him. OCDC, is Scott looking for that as well? No, Wesley, I think you let the head coach make his staff hires. What's LSU's take on incoming coaches with Title IXs? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that is going to deter anyone from taking the LSU job. I do think it would limit the pool of candidates. The way it was described to me is that this would be a squeaky clean hire. Trell Hatch, what's up? Frederick Sabrin. Are you going to invite that dork from last night for bourbon tasting? No, I don't think so. Southern's going to play neck. I'll look forward to that. Mississippi State's band wore the baseball national championship hat for the game against Vandy yesterday. It's a pretty good troll job. Truax, what's up, man? Caleb Brignac. Because of this show, I walk around the house singing the Hudco Roofing jingle. You see, that's the key to a good jingle. It's not Mozart. It's just supposed to be an earworm.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hudco.
Call Hudco Roofing.
364.
1007.
There you go. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. Charlie Cavell. Does anyone complain that Tom Cruise made $10 million off some crappy movie? I don't know why people are so worried about other people's money. Seriously. And then people who complain about buyout money, like, it's like, it ain't your money. Nobody's asking you to give any money for it. Just sit back and enjoy the ride. We're going to pay this buyout. What's this we? Couple of rich dudes from Baton Rouge and the Bayou ponied up the cash to pay Ogeron's buyout. Like, they didn't ask you for no money. They're not taking money that they'd invest into roads and schools and paying buyouts for coaches. That's just old rich dudes getting a tax write-off. It's all good, man. Play call on 4th down was atrocious. I agree with you, Charlie. Let's see. Patrick Cason, Matt, I think someone questioned O about not kicking the field goal. That's why he blew up on the sideline. Oh, I don't know. Man, y'all were fired up last night. What's up, Clayton Knight? Thank you. No offense, T-Bob is 75% of the reason I watch. He's hilarious. No, none taken. And there's people who shudder whenever he speaks, and people who don't like me, and it doesn't matter, man. It's just, that's why it's a good vibe. It's, it's a kind of an Abbott and Costello routine. It's a Spade and Farley routine. The picture with you, Kirk, and T-Bob makes T-Bob look like a monster of a man. People forget that T-Bob Hebert was an SEC offensive lineman. Like, I repeat this sometimes to people who get confused about this. Yes, he's an oaf and all that stuff, and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Like, the man's father was an NFL quarterback, and he played offensive line in the SEC. There are not many humans walking the face of planet Earth that are big and physical and athletic enough to be an SEC caliber offensive lineman. Like, he's a giant. He's a giant human. He's a big man. He played line in the SEC. He's a big dude. Does this loss make Woodward act faster to name a new coach? No, Mario. You're not going to see it till after the season. Akeem Williams. Come on, man. That ain't cool. Talking about T-Bob stuttering, bro. It's just what it is, man. He's got a speech impediment. That's okay. Mad respect for a dude who does stutter at times, who has made a career in radio, in a spoken word medium. That's awesome. I commend him, man. Matt provokes T-Bob. That's the entertainment. The duo works. I'm a lot of things, y'all, but I ain't stupid. I know it works on air. There's a reason we do Scone and Tea, and there's a reason that he's on Whiskey and Wine, and yeah. Let's see. Blake Oob, good morning. Louis Malhoit, second most national championships behind Bama since the BCS playoffs. It should be nothing but national championship. That is the expectation. That's why Ocean's gone. Jason Austin, what's up? Scott Illuminate. At first, I hated the jingle, but I know every word. I know the phone number, and I don't even need a new roof. It's the point of a jingle. That is literally the point of a jingle. It's not Mozart. This isn't Tchaikovsky. Okay, it's not John Lennon. Let It Be. It's the Hudco roofing jingle. The whole point is just it's an earworm. It's to be memorable. That's the whole point of an earworm. Derek Maness tried to buy GameCoin Friday, got frustrated with Crypto.com. Is there an easier way? Whiskey Mom was good last night. Thanks, Matt. So, Derek, you have to go through Crypto.com to buy Binance Coin. That's pretty easy once you get your money into Crypto.com, which can oftentimes be the challenge. Your bank may prevent a purchase, so you just got to get on the phone and have your bank allow the purchase, which in and of itself explains the need for decentralized finance when banks tell you how you can spend your money. Anyway, Julie, Michelle McKee, good morning. Anthony Mitchell asked Matt thoughts on Nussmeier. We did cover it. I think he's fine. I just don't think the quarterback is the problem. I think you have a poor offensive line. You're down a bunch of studs. You're down a bunch of defensive starters. I don't think if Garrett plays that game, the result's any different. So, Kyle Allen, what's up, man? Thank you. Steve Colson, crypto tech support phone number. I feel like I have become because so many people know that I know how to buy GameCoin, and a lot of people have trouble with it. I get my calendar is great. Like Friday was. It's just like I literally schedule into my calendar now appointments to help people buy GameCoin. I'm not even joking. I already helped a former LSU running back this morning buy GameCoin at about 8 a.m. We were on the phone. Anyway. Craig Dugas, it's like the Come On Man lawyer commercial. At first it was annoying. Now I look forward to hear Matt say, "Come on, man," 37 times in the commercial. That's for MGM injury terms. Let's see. And T-Bob can do a split. Yes, he can do the split. All right. Janet, does Kiffin become more appealing? Maybe. Depending on how the rest of the season goes. KJ, love you, Matt. Thank you, KJ. I love you too. Christian Cameron, I think having O around at this point is a distraction. I just don't know that you have a better option. Hey, Drew!
No.
You want to come say hi to Dad's show?
No.
You have snot all over your face. We need to wipe that snot off your face. You're the definition of a snot-nosed kid. Yellow runny nose. Hey, Drew, you want to say hi to Dad's show?
And after that,
We'll get dressed.
good.
Good at what time is it? Well, if we're gonna go, we gotta go, because Daddy gotta go to church at 11:30. Okay.
Good.
Little bird sons. You gotta wipe all that snot off your face though. After Albertsons, we'll come home and Dad's gonna watch football.
That's for football.
After football, what do you want to do? You want to go on the trampoline?
Nothing trampoline.
At the trampoline? What if we go walk to Egypt?
Nothing Egypt.
And after Egypt, you know, we'll eat your dinner and take a bath, get all clean, and then tomorrow will be Monday. Where you going Monday? You want to come say hi to Dad's show? Come say hi. Come say hi to Dad's show.
Go to
We'll go to the near St. Lillian. Okay, he's gone. Try to get him over here, y'all. So you could see the big, like, snot wad that's coming down as he wiped on the side of his face. Oh, the joy of having children. Okay, I gotta go because I do need to get him dressed and go on our little outing so I can get back and go to church. So y'all have a awesome day. Thank you so much for watching. Still 280 there on YouTube, 168 likes. Please, please, please smash the like button if you've not done so yet. Subscribe to the Matt Scone YouTube channel. That helps so much with the algorithms. I can't thank you enough. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And on Facebook, please like the page, share the post. 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 We appreciate y'all so much. Have an awesome Sunday. And until next time, peace.